I want to ask you, Paul, Jack Dorsey was fired from this job once back in 2008. According to a book that was written about the early days of Twitter, he was described as a bad manager who took credit for everything, handled criticism poorly, and didn't know how to manage. So why is this a good idea to bring him back?
Well, it's interesting. I think investors are looking for really somebody to step in here. We've had the interim CEO tag on him for a while. Dick Costolo really did not take the company to the next level. So a lot of investors are saying, maybe what's old is new again. Let's bring Jack back, because what Jack does bring to the table is product knowledge and a real focus on innovating their product, which is arguably where Twitter has lagged, say, Facebook, for example. So, and we see that in the form of much slower user growth, much slower user engagement. And so a lot of people believe that the fix to the Twitter problem, if there is a fix, is a product fix. And Jack arguably is, I think a lot of investors believe might be the best candidate.
Some of the product fixes that are going to be rolling out, though, were already underway under Dick Costolo, including Project Lightning, for example. So will Dorsey be getting the credit for something Costolo just didn't have time to roll out?
I think perhaps we'll have to see how some of these things play in the marketplace. But I think what investors have been concerned about is the relatively slow rate of innovation at Twitter when you compare it to, just say, even a Google or a Facebook, where it seems like they are innovating the product. They're iterating the product almost every day. Same with LinkedIn. Every time you go onto LinkedIn or Facebook, there's some new bell or whistle, and you don't necessarily get that at Twitter.
You're not talking about revenue raising. You're just talking about the actual machinery of the product.
Yeah, I think what investors are saying is, listen, the product is kind of stale a little bit, and so you need to continue to, iterate the product, because you need to drive two things if you're Twitter or any advertising business: the size of your audience, which is slow to Twitter, and the engagement of their audience. How much time do they spend on your platform? Because that's ultimately what you sell to advertisers.
Well, he seems to be following the Steve Jobs model: get fired, come back, be the savior of the company.
Right.
But what evidence do we have that he can actually do that, other than the vision thing?
Yeah, we don't. And that's, I think, one of the big issues for the stock. I mean, the question is this something that can be fixed, or have they already lost kind of the momentum in Silicon Valley, the momentum with investors? And if you have, in fact, lost that, it's almost impossible to get back, product or not.
We should stress that this is a Recode report so far still, and apparently, according to Recode, there is a plan B. There is somebody else that may be in the works too, so you'll have to wait and see what's going to become official. But Square looks to be going forward with its IPO in the fourth quarter, whether this happens or not.
Okay,
Will Dorsey stay on? Mobile payments.
Yeah, mobile payments. Now, what the issue
but not the partner with Twitter. Stripe is the mobile payments partner with Twitter, which is interesting.
That's right. And I think one of the concerns here for Twitter with Dorsey coming back is he going to be full-time CEO at Twitter? Doesn't sound like it. Sounds like he's going to keep his job at Twitter.
Here's the distinction. In Instagram, when Duke loses in football, I can do a 15-second video of it.
Right.
On Vine, I can do 6 seconds. Am I right? Vine's a failure?
It's clearly not driven the business they'd like it to.
Why has the present management not had the courage to fix that?
I think they are trying to fix it.
That's what Project Lightning is.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit there. That kind of goes back to, you've got a product that hasn't really taken off in the marketplace. What do? Do you just let it flounder there, or do you try to, kind of iterate it and turn it around? We see that at Facebook. We see that at LinkedIn all the time. If something doesn't work, they cut it loose, move on to the next thing. And I think the challenge at Twitter is they haven't necessarily moved as quickly as some investors would like to see, or some users would like to see.
When they began Twitter in 2006, Jack Dorsey said 140 characters. That's going to be our signature. Now they're talking about expanding that to possibly unlimited.
Right.
Good idea, bad idea?
I think the users out there, when you look at the blogs, are kind of split. I mean, it's kind of what makes Twitter unique. And do you necessarily want to get away from what makes it unique in the
I want to rip up the script right now, Paul Sweeney. What an announcement coming up. Bloomberg company profiles. What is your team going to bring to the terminal worldwide for Joachim Fels and others?
Company-specific analysis. So we have Bloomberg Intelligence. We're rolling out initially 1,000 companies under research coverage, where we're going to provide a deep dive into companies' fundamentals, key drivers, key themes driving these companies. So we are, in addition to covering 140 industries globally, we're now rolling out coverage of ultimately 4,000 companies.
Okay.
Initially,
was that a good enough shameless plug?
Very
good.
That was the
well, we're there. We'll have much more on this in the coming weeks with Paul Sweeney and his team.